Hi everyone, it's Lex and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorn and Roses. I saw a post recently that really struck me and I kind of wanted to share that experience that I had with all of you. So I'm not going to waste any time and just dive right into it. So there's a specific chapter in the book. I believe, if I remember correctly, it is chapter 46. Yes. And in this chapter, this has been after Feyre has done her trials under the mountain. This is after Amarantha has been defeated, and this is after Feyre and Rhysand have made their bargain. Now, this video is going to contain some spoilers, so if you have not read the series, I would scroll or watch the video at a later time. That way you can enjoy the series and hopefully not have everything spoiled. I know going into it now, it's a little bit bigger, so there are more spoilers out there. But the reason I wanted to talk about this is because as a reader, I feel like we kind of sometimes already get prejudged, especially when we read Sarah J. Maas, that like, oh, well, you just read it for the smut. And at least for me personally, that is not why I like to read the series. And this chapter kind of really sums up. And as some of you may have read the other book, her A Court of Mist and Fury, which I love that book. It's my favorite. And chapter 54 is such a compelling chapter as well. And so I'll do a video about that at a later time, but this one I really enjoy because this is before we truly get to know who Rhysand is as a person. We've had glimpses, we have like ideas, but we're not really sure yet, especially if we're reading it for the first time. We're like, okay, who is this character? Why is he this way? Why is he this antagonist? And why is he so important? And Feyre has now gone from having a mortal life to an immortal life, and she's sleeping and she feels this tug and she just follows it, knowing that Rhysand is calling her. So she goes up to talk to him and she wants to know, well, why did you wake me up? Why am I here? And his response, I kid you not, right here, it says, I wanted to say goodbye. Okay, right off the bat, you guys, he wants to say goodbye. He just made this bargain with her for 1 month or 1 week out of every month of, hello? He's saying goodbye after making this bargain. So we can already see right there that he's like, I'm not gonna necessarily follow through with it. That is at least the thinking process that I'm getting. He's saying goodbye to her. And it's not like this small, like, oh, I'll see you later. No, it's, I wanted to say goodbye. And so Feyre's like, well, why? Like, what do you mean? You're going to see me 1 week out of every month. I don't know why you're saying this. And so he kind of jokingly plays it off like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'll see you then or whatever. And the thing that gets me is after they've had that brief exchange, Feyre asks him why he saved her. And I feel like his response, and I'm going to read it here in a second, really strikes home why I love Sarah as an author so much. Because it's something that I feel like as humans, we want that. And we want that support. And you're going to see what I mean here. And so I also want to point out that Tamlin didn't do any of this. So when Rhysand is talking about this, it even hits home more for me because Tamlin didn't do anything throughout being under the mountain. And I kind of get frustrated at him because I'm like, you can still care for someone and try to get them out, and yet you never tried to get her out. In the one brief encounter you got with her, you wanted to go fart around in a closet. So a little upset at that. And then Rhysand's response of why he did it is because when the legends get written, I didn't want to be remembered for standing on the sidelines. I want my future offspring to know that I was there and that I fought against her at the end, even if I couldn't do anything useful. Because I didn't want you to fight alone or die alone. That was his response to Feyre for why he did what he did. And Feyre recalls that when one of the fairy come into the foyer at the spring court, she said the same thing to that fairy that she didn't want him to be alone. And so right there, it hits so hard, you guys. I mean, it's a beautiful sentiment. And you see that Rhys suffered under that mountain too. He might have been known as the evil person, but you can also see right here that he was basically Amarantha's dog. And he had to endure a lot. And then, while they're having this encounter, Rhys's wings are out. And he doesn't tell very many people about that. And the reason is he tells very few about the wings or the flying. And he says that because, sorry, I'm getting so emotional. Because the things that he loves have a tendency to be taken from him. That right there just shows you, like, Rhys being under that mountain, it did something to him. And it's just like, this is at the end of her book, and already I'm like, okay, I need to jump into the second book. Like, this is so compelling. He doesn't tell people things because he doesn't want them to be taken from him. And then that makes you be like, oh, well, what else has he lost? What more is it to this mysterious character that has been the main antagonist? What is he? Like, what is his backstory? So that was really cool. And then I also appreciate that he asks her, how does it feel to be immortal? Tamlin has not shown any care for Feyre, really, from after being through what she went through. And it's just kind of like, he's such a crappy dude, to be honest. And Feyre here, you can see that internal struggle of, she says she wondered if it would have been easier to live with it. Easier to live with what she did if her heart had changed too. Maybe I wouldn't care so much. Maybe I could convince myself their deaths weren't in vain. Maybe immortality will take that away. I can't tell whether I want it to. Rhysand stared at me for long enough that I faced him. Be glad of your human heart, Feyre. Pity those who don't feel anything at all. She is like at an eternal war with herself, and then she has this man who is not even like, they're not even together. She views him as the enemy, and here he is comforting her as she's dealing with these emotions of becoming immortal, and then struggling with everything that she went through, all the lives that were lost, everything through the ending of this first book. And as you go into the second one, you see a lot more as well of their interaction. But I just wanted to share that because it does show, like, some readers might read books just for the smut, but then you do have books with smut but are also tactfully put in, especially in her first couple books. They're very, like, minor, and there's a lot more dialogue, and there's a lot more story. And in that chapter, seeing that post really, like, hit me, because I kind of honestly at first, I remember that part, but it was a little hazy, and now I'm just kind of like, I think chapter 46 in book 1 might be one of my favorite chapters in the series, because it's just the care, the development, and the understanding that the two have with one another is just so beautifully written and done, and I can't praise it enough. So that's kind of the end of my whole spiel. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!